What is going on, guys? We are back with another video today on Madden 21, and today we're doing a video series, potentially, of something we kind of did already once before. A couple other people were doing them as well. We did the career sims of rookie players from Madden 20, but they were obviously the Madden 21 rookies, the real-life rookies. Those are pretty decent. I mean, they didn't do super well, but they were pretty decent. We did most of the big names, but obviously in this one, there's a lot more of a selection to choose from. We could literally choose pretty much any player from like any decade, so that's kind of why I wanted to do this. A lot of you guys have suggested this. It's not like the most original idea in the world. I believe in other sports, there's been plenty of these done on like FIFA and NBA and whatnot. So, and I'm not going to say like this is some great idea or anything, but I mean, it could be fun. It could be fun. Of course, another thing kind of being done similar to this, like I said, we already, a lot of people have done the rookie sims, but of course, Bengals kind of doing the rookie sims, but with the actual players of right now. So, maybe check those out as well. I love these types of videos, so that's why I've been watching a little bit of his, and I wouldn't say it was inspired to do this, but I thought about it, and a lot of people, like I said, did suggest stuff like this to us. Mainly, though, it was like Calvin Johnson, Michael Vick, who was other ones? I think a Pat McAfee. Okay, dude, I don't know if I'm going to be doing that now, but yeah, there was a lot of them. I thought, why not start with the cream of the crop guys that, in their career, there's a big question mark of, the tuck rule, the Vinatieri kicking field goals, Falcons, the pick from Alford could have been a pick 6. Why did you not run it more? And this and that and the other thing. And, the offside from the Chiefs that was an inch. It was the game winner. How many Super Bowls would Brady have if these little things didn't happen? Same way, if the Giants didn't get those catches. I mean, things happen, right? The Butterfingers in the Super Bowl. Does Brady have 8 Super Bowls? Does he have 3? Who knows? Let's see what happens if Brady was just entering the draft right now, this upcoming season. Of course, we have the most updated rosters. With this one, though, maybe I should have put Fields and all them in there. I don't really care, to be honest. It's not the Fields or the Trevor Lawrence show. It's the Tom Brady show. Now, I don't know how you guys want me to do this in the future, but I made Tom Brady basically a very high projected player. The number 1 here, to be exact. I gave him the ratings I thought he would deserve. I gave him Superstar Development Trait because I think X Factor is good, but I don't know. I think Superstar for most of these guys is going to be the case, especially Tom Brady didn't start the exact rookie year, well, the second year. But of course, for Tom Brady, I feel like if they did a redraft, he would obviously go number 1 overall. Do you guys think we should make it where it's a career resim, however, it's based on their real life projection? So Tom Brady would be a really good talent, but we would slip him in the 7th, maybe? I don't even know, but I think this is what we're going to do it for just now. And of course, Tom Brady, that's the best I can make his face look, so it is what it is. I'm not going to play any hand in this at all. We're going to see where he goes. We're going to move to that team, and then we're literally just going to follow what happens to him. If he's playing really well, I will probably fix the regression a little bit, just so he can play like his real life self. But if that's not the case, then, I mean, that's pretty much it. I don't really care too much about, actually I do care, because, no, we're not going to. We're not going to spoil you. We're going to wait. We're going to wait till the actual draft, because obviously the worst team right now is going to be the team that gets Tom Brady, assumingly that it wasn't a team already with a quarterback. Here, the Steelers win the Super Bowl over the Saints. Everything is on for Sim, so let's go to the draft. I want to see the first overall pick. I also want to see if they even take him. Like I said, who's the team? We don't know. It's the Jacksonville Jaguars. We're not going to rush them. We're not going to do anything. We're going to make sure this is as legit as possible, and we're going to see exactly who they take. Is it going to be Thomas Brady? I mean, it shouldn't take this long, right? Like, you're probably going to take him, right? He's like, it's the best choice by far. They pass on him. No way Tom Brady goes to the Jets. This was written in the stars. It's like the biggest meme ever, too. It's like, oh, Tom Brady to the Jets. There's no way, right? Every single team up until, Drew Lock, you can debate, up until the Bengals need a quarterback here. So, like what? Daniel Jones is probably good enough, but I don't even think they would pass. And Tom Brady goes to the Jets. Oh, my Lord. You've got to be joking me. Well, Tom, Unlucky, man. Of course, we did remove the real Tom Brady. Would he please stand up? We removed him from the league. So there's only going to be one Tom Brady now. And yes, the face doesn't look great. I had a decent face. The actual face that they gave was pretty decent. But for some reason, it was like the picture was a black dude, but the in-game was a white dude. We're not going to be seeing the in-game Brady too often. So it doesn't, it is what it is. But of course, let's move on to the team that actually has the player the video is focused on, Mr. Thomas Brady to the Jets. Also, Sherman on the Jets. Interesting. It's a fantasy draft. What the hell is this? But let's take a look at what that Jets team looks like. 78 overall at the gate. That doesn't sound that bad. Tom Brady, of course, the guaranteed day one starter. Devontae Freeman. Holy crap, he's a low overall. They end up with a tight end, Mr. Lance Roberts, hidden development trait. It hurts so much not to help him out. I'm going to help him out with that one. I'm going to make the obvious help out decisions, but nothing, nothing big. Like this Bradford guy should start. I'm not going to do it. Mainly because I'm too lazy to do it, not because I don't want to. It's just I'm too lazy for it. Of course, there's a lot to be upgraded on this Jets team, but at least you got the number one position filled for at least the next 4 to 5 years, right? Like, I don't know about afterwards, but yeah. Your coach also has an interesting tablet situation. Might need a tablet for that brain. I mean, what? I mean, like a pill tablet. You get it? Funny. But yeah, if you guys actually want this to be a series, maybe leave a like or subscribe. Let me know in the comment section below who you would like to see next. Second channel, PK Plays, a lot of Spider-Man stuff lately, but I kind of want to play Last of Us and a bunch of other PS5 games, and then twitch.tv/Jeromepkr, where if this becomes a legit series for us, maybe that's where we'll stream them sometimes. But for right now, Washington, Bulldogs, and like I said, non-Madden stuff. As far as what we're going to go for XP sliders, I think O-line is a little low in Madden, but since we're going the long route, long-term route, I think we'll allow them to be lower. I think for quarterbacks, we'll go about 105, nothing better. Tight end about 112, 108 for wide receivers, DNs 108, DT 115. Linebackers we'll leave outside, though. We'll go about 5. Strong safety up 5, corner up 5. Kickers, punters, 200. And that's pretty much the sliders we're going to go for this one. I don't know about for the future, but right now I think those are pretty good. We could have also probably taken a look at their actual draft class. I should have maybe looked at that, but we saw a couple of the names there. I think what we'll do for this series is we'll be showing you guys the season stats, obviously the games, who they beat and this and that, and then potentially the awards. And then the final one would be the draft results. So, I mean, we've done plenty of sim-type things on this channel. We've done the 10-year sim series, the career sim for those rookies we did. We're doing this. We might have done more, and I forgot. Of course, ironically enough, obviously with the Jets, we are playing in the Patriots division. So, Tom Brady finally getting the pain that the Jets fans felt all these years playing against him. And I know for you Jets fans, this clearly makes up for all of it, just this video, right? Tom Brady, though, 4,153 yards, 32 touchdowns, 17 picks as a rookie. Not bad at all. Looking at his receiving options, interesting stuff. We'll take a look at the yearly awards. He should have won Offensive Rookie of the Year with that, and he does. The Brady accolades already piling up early. I don't know if he was a Pro Bowler, though. Let's take a look if he was a Pro Bowler. We could have looked at it the other way, but this is another fast way if you did not know. He did not. He did not make the Pro Bowl. That's a great way to make the take a look at the Pro Bowl names, especially if you missed the Pro Bowl, like you're in the Super Bowl. The Packers versus the Chiefs, that was a matchup that should have happened last year, but it didn't. And the Packers win that matchup. So, as far as retirements go, let's see who retired. Sherrick McManus. Calais doesn't always retire year one. I mean, we just had a rebuild where he didn't. Richard Sherman retires off of this Jets team. So we're seeing some earlier retirements now. There's no man showing them how to do it. Tom Brady's gone. No one knows how to play longer now. It's just everyone's lost. It's the Brady effect. I don't know how good of a decision this was, but the Jets take a tight end who is star development trait with their 5th pick overall. Gilroy is not star or better, but he is very fast, so this is obviously a guy that I would probably expect to take the number 2 reins right out the gate. Not a bad draft, especially with the landscape of the draft nowadays, but they did have 2 first-round picks, So, I mean, you kind of expect that. The first 2 picks, I think, are perfectly fine. Perfect picks, really. As far as the day 1 roster, this is what it looks like. Once again, I think Kilroy would be very high up there. Mims probably above the rest, though. Mims at number 3. I just think that Kilroy guy looks really talented. Of course, we also seen Jamison Crowder goes up to Superstar, which is obviously... Where was it? Oh, yeah, it doesn't show up right away. Yeah, Superstar development trait. Very big for Crowder, actually. 29 years old, not bad. O-line is struggling hard, though. Defensively, they didn't add anyone new to my knowledge, so, there's that. Yeah, a very rough-looking New York Jets squad. Once again, it's really just the shining Tom Brady. As far as schemes go, I'm going to keep the same scheme because, once again, this is still technically the Jets. But if they start drafting new talent, maybe they get some really good interior guys and they get a good running back, maybe we change the scheme a little bit more for running. For right now, though, we're going to keep it the exact same because it is the Jets. The point is a career resim. He went to the Jets. It's the Jets scheme. Let them run it. And we are in the playoffs section. Not actually in the playoffs, though, with a 5-11 record. The real question is, will Brady leave? That's really the thing. As you can see here, they actually had a really good start to the season, 5-1, and then they did the Jets. They realized, like, wait a minute. I don't care if Tom Brady's around here. We don't even know who Tom Brady is. He's an okay rookie, I guess, okay youngster, but we don't win around here. Tom Brady, lesser season than last year. Courtney Sullivan kind of rough. And then as far as the receiving options, Clemens is the only guy that really outperformed his position group. The rest kind of expected. You're supposed to kind of play like that. Jacoby Brissett is the league MVP. Now, of course, Brady's not a rookie anymore, so chance of him being anywhere on these lists, not very high. Colts have Kaepernick. Tom Brady is number 10 on the list. So, yeah, that's another kind of rough season in the books, even worse than last year. Might even be a top 3 pick. Going to the Super Bowl, the Packers are back in it. The Chiefs are no longer representing the AFC. It's the Browns, and the Browns win. All right, so unless this guy is hidden, that is a massive boss. The Jets are really putting a halt to the Brady train here, as they have a very, very bad draft. That may be one of the worst top 3 picks in the league I've ever seen. I mean, that's really bad. I mean, he's not as bad as overall states, but he's normal development. He's starting off rough. That's a yikes for me, dog. I'm just going to be honest, So this team is actually a lower overall now than when it started, like pre-Brady, basically. O-line is looking rougher than ever. I mean, like, is this a white running back? Okay, he's not. Okay, whew. Thank God, you wouldn't want something like that. Look at the defensive side of things. They didn't add anything in free agency, to my knowledge, anything significant. Shaquille Griffin, I guess, or Shaquem Griffin. I wish it was Shaquem Griffin. I mean, they got a guy that doesn't even have all of his limbs and whatnot. I'm sorry. It's a poor joke. I'm sorry. It's nothing against him. I actually like him. I'm actually rooting for him. Just like I was rooting for the I think it was half-deaf Seahawks fullback. I still can't remember his damn name, but he was fast. And I always drafted him in Madden, so, I'm a good person, please. Of course, into the playoffs again. I will say, I don't know where that accent came from, 8-8. Okay, so, opposite of last season. They started off okay, 0-3 is bad, but then they went 3-3, 3-4, and then they won a bunch of games. So, kind of a little bit stronger of a finish rather than a start. And didn't make the playoffs, but with this roster, this is a pretty successful season. 4,200 yards, 30 touchdowns, 9 interceptions for Brady. Courtney Sullivan, not a bad season. Crowder could go to X Factor. Clarence James, I don't even know who this guy is, but he's literally taking all of the snaps. Oh, he's fast. He's taking all of the snaps away from Kilroy, which is really brutal. I'm not going to take, actually we'll take a look at MVP every time, just in case, one of you statistical freaks is like, I want to stat track every single thing that ever happens for the Brady, and Brady is at number 5 for the quarterback. We're not going to look at player of the year because, offensive player of the year is just not a chance. Let's go to the Super Bowl, though, see who wins that, and then once again go on to the draft again. The Browns back in the Super Bowl, so back-to-back trips there. The Packers win 2 in a row, and then they miss. The Falcons over the Browns. I think we all can agree that anytime the Browns lose a Super Bowl in Madden or just don't win it in general, it's a win for all of us. Because the Browns, like there's like a boss fight or something, they are annoyingly good in Madden Sim. All right, New York. And they get a 74 overall, normal development, but that is Madden this year. A lot of normal developments. He's obviously a very good talent. Looking at the middle linebacker they drafted now, Nolan Brown, not a bad player either. I'd be stoked with this pick if I drafted him in a user league. Look at this catching stats, 71. They go with a quarterback in the 3rd round. Maybe worried that they are struggling in the draft. Maybe thinking Tom Brady decides not to stay. Tom Brady right now is kind of playing like he's above average, but not by much. He's, kind of on that average, level right now. But that's what's going to happen when you got the Jets as your team of choice. Not really of choice, let's be honest. But, of course, going to keep trying. He's going to keep playing. And then, hopefully, for his sake, they either get him talent or they they allow him to leave. He is tight out in sleight of hand. So, tight out. It's almost like he's missing a certain tight end that could help him out. Of course, they get a new running back, Jonathan Taylor. Definitely an upgrade, but how much, potential does he really have? Jamison Crowder obviously gets to X Factor, but a little too late. His overall upgrading is going to be low. They get Keenan Williams to superstar development trait, as you can see there. Fabian Moreau is now the starting corner on this team. That is not a good sign in the slightest, but hey, it's the Jets for you. Did you really expect them to ever get better, even with Tom Brady? All right, another playoff season, another regular season in the books. 4-12 for New York this time, dropping 4 wins and adding 4 losses. The New York way, as we call it. Definitely a tough division, but definitely not performing adequately to the quarterback position. Tom Brady, 29 touchdowns, 16 picks, 4,000 yards. I can't really blame him. The rushing game somehow gets worse, and Crowder keeps killing it. And the thing is, even with X Factor, he's not going to be around forever. So New York's really got to have a really good offseason and or draft very, very, very soon. As far as Brady goes, not even on the list for best QBs. This is probably the worst place he could have went. You can see here the Rams are playing the Bengals. The winner of this new Super Bowl is the Rams. All right, looking at the draft class, the Jets get some O-line. Dakota Lamb, hidden development trait. Let's take a grand look at this fella. A hidden development offensive lineman. Not bad. That's not easy to do. Philip DeBose. I do not know. Is he he's kind of like a run support kind of guy more than anything. Camille Hunter, not a bad tackle. Middle linebacker Marcus Thompson. And that's pretty much the best you're going to get. Perry Ballard. So, I mean, not a bad first-round pick. The first-round pick was obviously the best of the picks, which is usually kind of the case for most teams. But, I mean, I don't know. It's good, but once again, at this rate, I feel like the only way this team really gets super good is if they get some good free agents. Let's see if they did that. Madison is now on the team as their number 1 running back. A pretty big upgrade. They also have Tracy Smith. That should be their number 2 guy. Kilroy's decent, but I mean, I don't know if he's going to, upgrade as quick as possible. They also have this guy, Kentrell Strait. And then, of course, they also signed Joel Bitonio. So, I mean, Bitonio is not going to last long, but this could be a decent season. As far as cornerback goes, still need some upgrades there. Defense is just in a really bad spot. All right, another season down and another bad season at that. 6-10. This has got to be the year that Brady can be a free agent. I don't know exactly if they were able to re-sign him or not. We'll find out in a moment. But looking at the stats, Brady, highest yards he's had, similar touchdowns to all of his other seasons, though, and similar interceptions. Madison, really not getting it done. Crowder, okay, so the receivers really did go off, though. Tracy Smith, 1,000 yards. Clemens, 1,000 yards. And Crowder with 1,000 yards. Go take a look at these awards. I don't think he would have won MVP. Yeah, number 6, looking at the Offensive Player of the Year award. Number 5, QB, though, also number 5. Okay, I guess he's not going to go up as high as I thought. But let's go on to the Super Bowl, see who wins, and then see if we have any dev-ups. I think that the offense might have some dev-ups at, the receiving position. Winner of this Super Bowl is the Cowboys. Still pretty much the same overall here in New York. And no dev-ups on offense. Unfortunately, defense, the same. If I'm Brady, I'm getting the hell out of here. All right, so here is the draft for the Jets here, and it's not a bad-looking one. A normal development trait corner in the beginning, not a bad pick. They do go QB, though. Matthew Neal. I think I seen that they signed Brady to like a 3-year extra deal, so I'm not really sure what that is all about, but that's their decision. Of course, as it appears, they did not land a single hidden development player. Oh, never mind. They got a tackle. Not bad. I don't know if he's superstar or star, whatever. But okay. All right, looking at the Jets offense, this is what it looks like. It's not looking great. It really is not looking great. Dion Van Buren, okay? They definitely did not, get anyone, really. Same with defense. They got Xavier Howard. They're getting some of these players that are just, like, way too old. I mean, even look at a tight end. Why did they go for Ertz? Like, you have Clemens. What are you doing? I don't even know. But that's the Jets for you. This is a career resim, and they had the second pick. The first team didn't want him. They didn't want Brady. All right, the Jets back again with another bad season, 5-11. Why wouldn't you leave if you're Brady? This is just ridiculous. I would be gone. I'd be long gone. Brady, though, can't really get over that 30-touchdown hump, 12 interceptions, 4,200 yards. Rushing, Madison was a lot better than before, for sure. 3 1,000-yard receivers. Gotta give it to Philip Clemens. He's actually playing pretty damn well, but there's not really many players playing much better than him. On the team, him and Brady are really the only two that are playing like decent players. I guess Crowder as well. Brady number 4 for that. 7 for Offensive Player of the Year. I think Brady has 2 more years on his contract, and I'm going to be honest, that's when I expect him to go. That's when I would expect Tom Brady to leave this team. At least if not, I don't know what's wrong with him. Dallas Cowboys 37-14 over the Chargers. Any dev-ups at all? Probably not, right? Maybe with Clemens, but no. And then defensively, they have Brown, but, probably a little late for that. This team is brutal. All right, so with pick 4, they take cornerback, another normal development cornerback. Zach Devine looks pretty damn divine, very fast. Catching's a little low, agility's a little low, but still looks really good with his hidden development trait, which just so happens to be star. It's only star, but still, it's not bad. They go running back. Not a bad running back, but obviously 23 with normal is a little rough. Left end, not going to get it done. Right outside linebacker, nope. Wide receiver, maybe, but probably not. And then tight end, you just don't need. The Jets have done nothing for this squad at all. We'll take a look at see what their starting roster looks like, though, because maybe they went for someone in free agency. At this point, you got to assume they have a lot of money to do so. Everything's on auto, so should be signing players. I was going to show you if they added anyone new, but they literally didn't. And that is surprising. This team is an 82 overall team. This is what the roster looks like. I'm going to show you now because, I just didn't expect him to do this. Did they not start the rookie tackle? Really? Or the youngster tackle, I suppose? Like, do you want the team to be good? Because you have the potential with all these really good youngster linemen with star better. They didn't even start Devine or Devine, whatever you want to call him. I really do not know how this team is in the playoffs. We will show you that we didn't force any wins. Once again, you guys have heard my Rodgers versus Brady banter for years now, probably. I don't know why you would want me, why. Well, I guess to be fair, it does make sense, because if Brady does well in a resim... No, if you don't know, it makes sense that I would want him to suck, because... Yeah, okay. Just under 4,000 yards, 37 touchdowns, 6 picks for Brady. His best season by far. Did not change the scheme yet, and probably will not. Clemens, just under 1,000 yards. That should be superstar still, though. Not a bad season. Let's take a look at the yearly awards. Mr. Brady, number 9 on the MVP list. 3 overall for Player of the Year on the AFC side. Number 3 for quarterback, which, of course, is Pro Bowl worthy. Nice. All right, so 11-5 versus the Raiders, and they win. Now going against the Ravens, and unfortunately they lose. We don't know how many times we're going to see Brady in the Super Bowl or in the playoffs, so let's take a look. How ironic to say something like that. Let's take a look at those numbers. So not bad in that game, but obviously could have been better. And then in this game, you got to imagine he was pretty bad. Not great, but once again, could have been better. You can't really blame him for either. Well, the first loss there or the win, obviously, pretty fair play. Nothing particularly, really bad or really good. Browns back in the Super Bowl, shocker, and of course, shocker, they win. Yeah, the Jets continue to do it. So really the only thing to note was that the tight end went to Superstar. There's a breakout player here. We'll add that to the list, I suppose. I feel like... Nah, dude. No one on this team's good. Let's be honest. But the team does go to the playoffs. So, I mean, very shocking that this team is able to put up playoff numbers. Maybe I don't have the XP sliders high enough. You know, before I feel like it was too high. Maybe with these it's too low. So, kind of the best team I want to maybe be in the 88 range. The average, though, 83, 84. So right now we're seeing, I mean, I like it, maybe bump them by 5%. But overall, I think the sliders are perfectly fine. I think these overalls reflect what Madden would normally have. So like I said, maybe 5% higher, but overall, I kind of like where we're at. Let's take a look at the stats now. Tom Brady, really bad season. This is a really bad time for him with, maybe he did it on purpose to go to free agency. You know, this is a really bad time, needing a contract, having his basically worst season by far. I'm not even going to look at the awards because he shouldn't be in there, so I don't expect him to be. Going against the Bengals, and of course, right out the gate, lost the game. We'll take a look at the break. Yeah, you didn't do well, did you? But yeah, this is where I would expect Tom Brady to move on, and the Jets technically to move on. But then again, with the Jets, they need to move on from their front office at this point. And the Giants win the Super Bowl. And let's see if they did it. And he is gone. Neal, the guy they drafted in the 3rd round, I believe, 2nd round maybe, is now the starting quarterback. Of course, I did forget to look at the actual signing, so you know what kind of the race was for getting Brady. But we can obviously turn that on right now and see where he did sign. This is interesting. I like it. You know, as far as the quarterback goes, if you're really good, he's only halfway through his career, so plenty of time still. And of course, of all the teams that join, he signs with the Green Bay Packers on a 4-year, $126 million deal. The weird thing is, though, this new age Brady doesn't seem to care about winning. It's just about the money, because you look at this Packers team, and it is brutal. Obviously, he does get a number 1 wide receiver in Terrence Richardson, who's obviously way better than any of the wide receivers he had elsewhere. But, oh, they actually do have a tight end here, though, as well. But I will say, you know, he had a pretty good tight end over there in New York in a better O-line. So this is a very debatable decision by Brady. I mean, looking across the board, this team is really not better in any position outside of like 2 or maybe 3. So a bit of a yikes decision from Brady there. I mean, there is a lot of, you know, missing pieces on this team. I'm surprised Green Bay is the one that wins it. I mean, they're definitely worse than the Jets roster. That's insane. Lucky for Brady, it's only a 4-year though, I guess. So we'll see. As far as draft goes, pick number 1 for Green Bay, as you would expect. They end up busting on a freaking safety. They do get Damian Johnson, though, a power... okay, I didn't even see the power move. A pass rusher, a little bit slow, but hidden. You never know what kind of development this could be. This could be like Superstar or X Factor, which obviously would be like a, you know, an all-decade type of player, especially with this team having lots of money and no talent. And he is Superstar, so that's a very good pick. The safety can't say the same about. Denzel Baker, probably the starting running back. Doesn't look bad. They get a DT who's kind of iffy. And then unless you get lucky with one of these hidden, these are all just, you know, backup picks. And they did get lucky with one of the hidden. Gooden with star or better. Okay, so not a bad draft, but that first pick overall has to be something else. Probably tackle, if we're going to be honest. All right, head to the playoffs. The Jets were a playoff team, but of course, as you would expect here, the Packers are not. They look so bad roster-wise. And what did Brady agree to here? This is just a terrible decision. Of course, worse touchdowns than even in New York. Less picks, though, and then similar yardage. Tommy Rice, yikes. Of course, Richardson, obviously a pretty solid wide receiver, but you can only do so much with one player, which is the perfect description for Brady's career here in the recent. Miami versus the Cardinals, who would have thought that? But obviously it is pretty much a decade down the line, and Miami does indeed win. As far as dev-ups go, maybe Richardson. Maybe. And I don't think he did. I think he was already... Wait, no, maybe he wasn't already Superstar. Yeah, he was already Superstar. Never mind. Hikes. All right, that's an interesting one. Yeah. They didn't even start Johnson, did they? That was Walters. What a rough-looking roster, let me tell you. But hey, it's Brady's choice, no one else's. All right, looking at the draft, pick number 1. This is more like it. Larry Logan. Interesting kind of two-way player. Almost kind of reminds me of like a Rashawn Gary type, but with a hidden development. His development is superstar, so a very good pick. Cannot be wrong with that one. Austin Scarborough. Gotta like that they went O-line. They didn't really hit. And then they get Palmer, the quarterback. Stephen Way, another hidden development tight end. A strong safety with no dev. A running back with no dev. And then a right outside linebacker with no dev. You know, it's number 1 overall, but I've definitely seen worse drafts. Okay, I mean, they're doing okay rebuilding through the draft. And it's a playoffs. Once again, we said that they're rebuilding nicely through the draft, but never mind. I was about to say, but let's be honest, right? Let's be realistic. But they make the playoffs at 8-8. That's got to be the 7th seed. I could have looked from there, but whatever. Let's go over here. It's got to be the 7th seed, right? Yep. Number 7, going against the division leader, number 2 Vikings. How do you go from 7 to 2 with one game? That is very strange. Brady with a lot of yards, but exactly the same in touchdowns to picks, which is really strange. McMillan, not a bad start. And then Terrence Richardson obviously playing really, really well, carrying this offense receiving-wise. Let's see if the Packers can win a single playoff game with Brady. They do. Now going against Washington, they lose. Let's go to the Super Bowl. Let's take a look at Brady's performance and then go on to another offseason with a non-Brady Super Bowl, which is just something I would have liked to see in real life more often. I mean, what? The Ravens win the Super Bowl, of course. And let's take a look at how Mr. Brady performed. So in the wildcard game, going against the Vikings, looked like we put up a pretty good performance. 2 touchdowns, 1 pick. You know, can't really expect much more than that. And then you look at the game against Washington, a close game. Brady was very good there too, so you can't really say much about it. Pick 25. All that for pick 25. Oh, my Lord. Bad picks galore. Anyone decent at all? I mean, I don't think so. I think it's a really bad draft. So forget anything we said about the draft. The Packers are kind of struggling as well. The roster look for the Packers. Of course, Richardson looks really good. 95 overall, superstar, X Factor. But, yeah, lots still missing. Who the hell is Baldwin? The hell is this guy? Why do they have him? I don't understand, but he's a good backup, so are they looking to get rid of, I'm just saying, looking to get rid of Brady? Maybe. Who is this guy? Jimmy Brown, 24 years old. So, I mean, they're adding some talent through free agency at least. So, I mean, they have some pieces here and there, but once again, they're just not putting enough around him. The O-line is bad. The receivers outside of one are pretty bad, so I don't know. It's just going to have to be another carry job here. Headed to the playoffs, and of course, not in them. 7-9, similar to the last season, but, got one less win right at the end. Looked like they were trying to run the table. Don't know who would ever have said something like that. And unfortunately, they could not. 29 touchdowns, 9 picks, and 4,001 yard receiving or running. Not great at all. Receiving, of course, Richardson is just the man around here. I doubt he would have won an award, but let's see. Jordan Love, the player, the MVP, ironically, of the league. Brady at number 7 for best QB. Results of the Super Bowl winner, as they call it. Super Bowl, 66 did that say? 24-14, the Chiefs are on top. All right, draft recap. Pick 17, Johnny Williamson, 21 years old, 77 overall. A very, very good pick at 17 for the Packers. Pointer, well, I'm not going to point any fingers on who made a bad choice, but it was this team. DT, not bad. 69 overall left end. I mean, they're bolstering up the D-line a little bit. It's not really working, but a good wide receiver pick. That's clearly the day one, number 2. Number 2, day 1. Okay, that was confusing. Really, the biggest thing to note for the team is the fact that Brady has actually regressed. He's a 93 overall now. He regressed like 2 overall, so kind of needs this to be like an X Factor season. And probably, honestly, X Factor or not, playoffs or not, should be his last season with the Packers because this was even worse than with the Jets. And he does get to the playoffs with that magical little 8-8 spot, probably back at the 6 or 7 seed, I would imagine. Regular season, of course, they did really well near the end of the season, which is kind of the reason why they're here. Taking a look at the stats now. Tom Brady, that's a pretty good season. Is it going to put him over that X Factor hump? We'll find out 4,500 yards, 37 touchdowns, 13 picks. Rushing McMillan, I mean, just not good. Terrence Richardson, really solid season. Williamson, not bad for a rookie. As far as awards go, MVP, he was not number 5, which isn't bad. Number 3 for Offensive Player of the Year. Quarterback, he was number 2. Almost won an award on the NFC side, I guess. Vikings beat them last time. Can they do it again? They cannot. They're 45-35 or 41-35. At least it was a good game, though. Washington versus Miami in the Super Bowl. The winner of that one is the Washington football team. Still Washington football team. So many years, and they still couldn't think of a team, huh? As far as that postseason game goes with the Packers, oh, Lord, Brady went off, but it just was not enough. We're on a new team. We're on the Cincinnati Bengals now. Tom Brady, the X Factor, 34 years old. Of course, can't see the progression. Is now a Cincinnati Bengal. How many years did he sign for, though? A 1-year prove-it deal for Tom Brady on the Bengals. Of course, they still have Joe Burrow, which is really strange, but he's 36. He is an 86 overall only, so I can kind of see why they moved on from Burrow, at least for the year. Looking at the offense, does not look great. Defensively, though, they definitely have a pretty solid-looking squad here, so yeah, maybe have a good offseason with, well, I guess the offseason's pretty much over, but a good draft. Maybe get some wide receivers, and you never know, this team could be the most successful one he's been on. Crap. All right, first and potentially only draft involving Tom Brady on the Bengals. Andrew Averill. They do go for a wide receiver, and he's not bad looking, especially for 21. No dev, but looks pretty good. Well, he's got normal dev. Another guy with no dev, but safety looks pretty good. Probably should be a corner. And they go with Eric Owens, a pass rusher who is 22 years old with a hidden. I guess we'll take a look. 9 times out of 10, these kind of players are going to be star, though. Later on in the draft, usually star. Yeah, he's star. What about this guy? 64 overall. Normal. Yeah, unless there's some super lucky last-second player. All going to be normal, most likely. But not a bad draft in the first 2, if you count the 4th guy and move him up. 3 picks. Pretty damn good picks for the Bengals. Here we are in the playoffs. 9-7. They actually make the playoffs. Second place in the division. Team schedule. This is what the season looked like. Kind of a weak ending to the year, but did enough to hold on and get that spot. Probably number 7 or 6. Brady, one of his worst seasons yet as a starter. Of course, he's getting up there in age. Receivers really didn't play super well, but once again, in the playoffs, a chance to get a Super Bowl ring. Going against the Raiders, and he does win the first game. Now going against the Baltimore Ravens, their tough rival. They lose the game. No real surprise there. And headed to the Super Bowl once again without a Brady sighting. The Colts versus Saints for Super Bowl 68. And the winner is the Colts. As far as the performance in those 2 playoff games, Brady, pretty modest performance in the wild card round. And then as for the game in the divisional, more touchdowns, better yards. What's it called? Decent completion percentage. Just, got outperformed still. And, of course, the team around him not good enough to really get the job done. Now, it's the re-sign period. The question is, did they re-sign Brady? He was on a 1-year deal. Did they give him an extra contract? They did. How many years, though? We won't know. I'm going to guess 2-year, but we'll find out in a moment. He got... Oh, that's the X Factor. He only... An extension of another year. Okay, strangely enough. Headed to the playoffs, there was really no new signings. The draft was terrible. And speaking of terrible, this season, a 6-10 season so far. Of all the sims we've done in really all of our different series, this is potentially the worst resulted sim. And it's really not Brady's fault. 4,200 yards, 24 touchdowns, 12 picks. Could he have played a little bit better in some of these seasons? Probably. But he really went to quite possibly the worst possible teams he could. I mean, this has been just a brutal one. Doesn't even get on the list here for Player of the Year or quarterback. I mean, the Jets, they got better, and then he decided to leave when they were kind of getting good. The Packers, literally the worst team in the league at that point, and then this Bengals team, not much better than worst. The Rams win the Super Bowl over the Ravens. There's a couple of Super Bowls now for the Rams, too, probably. Take a look. Did Brady re-sign, or is he on a new team? And he is gone. All right, let's find out what's going on here. All right, looking at the signings. Who did he sign with? League signings. Tom Brady is only an 84 overall, and he is going to the Falcons. This could actually potentially be Tom Brady's final season starting. This is crazy. Yeah, final season potentially here. Let's take a look. Can he get it done with the Falcons? I don't know what their roster looks like. As far as the Jets go, 83 overall. The Packers, 82. The Falcons, 79. Uh-oh. That's not a good look. And then for the Bengals, the 80 overall Bengals. So, looking at these overalls, I think the XP does need to be higher. So, without the XP being higher, the overalls make a lot of sense for maybe the first 4 to 5 years. But after, everyone starts to fall behind because the true good players of real world, they kind of regress. So, maybe 130s for most of the positions. We'll have to, keep testing it, obviously. All right, so going to the Falcons team now, he has a 32-year-old wide receiver who looks like he was probably pretty decent before, he started regressing. They have a running back, Titus Davis, who sounds a really cool name, obviously on the regression side as well. This is kind of a last push effort by the Atlanta Falcons, it looks like. They don't have a great roster, but they have probably just enough starting pieces on offense with Brady there to get something done. Du Bois, isn't this not the guy that was on the Jets? Brian Taylor, really good middle linebacker, and then Darden. I mean, these guys look like once upon a time pretty damn talented players. Will McLeod is still here. He looks pretty good. Isaac, 31 years old. So, yeah, this team is on the decline for sure. And once again, another one-year deal, I believe, for Tom Brady. 84 overall. This could be his last chance at a ring. And they do make the playoffs. 9-7. They win their division. Looking at the regular season, pretty damn strong finish. Taking a look at the stats, I kind of feel like this is going to be his best season statistically yet. And I'm wrong. It's almost his worst. It's probably his second worst. 3,400 yards, 23 touchdowns, 10 picks. Kind of carried by the ground game a bit. Receiving, there was really no one special on the receiving side. Of course, as far as awards won, he would have not won a single thing. Atlanta, can you be the team for Brady? They win the first game against Seattle. Not an easy team to beat, most likely. Then they go against the Vikings, and the Vikings do it to him again multiple times in his career. And, of course, the Vikings don't even take the spot to the Super Bowl. It's Washington versus Buffalo, and Washington wins. Let's go to the re-sign period, past that, actually, and see if Brady's still here, if he's even in the league, what team he might have went to. Of course, he is not here. Let's take a look at the retirements. It could have been Brady. You never know. And it is. Wow. Tom Brady ends his career early, and it's based on his performances and, how the teams around him were. It doesn't surprise me. He really got screwed over. Now, the problem with this is I can't actually see his career stats. Someone can maybe do the math, but I'm just going to do a rough estimate of how many touchdowns and all that thing I would have thought he would have had. So as far as a rough estimate goes, I would say he had 61,000 yards. So let's actually take a look at all-time stats. He might be on there. He is not. There, of course, that's the real Tom Brady there. He had, I would say, around 61,000 yards, like I said. And as far as touchdowns go, he's not actually on this list. But if we do the math and average out about 30 touchdowns through 15 seasons, it would leave him with about 450 touchdowns. Okay, that's the wrong thing. Please stop. What the hell? Was I looking at the wrong thing the whole time? But yeah, I would project him to have about 450 touchdowns. As far as picks go, I'm going to project 13 per season if you count, the highs and the lows. 195 interceptions. So I would project Tom Brady's re-sim career to be 450 touchdowns, about 200 interceptions, and 61,500 yards, which, of course, if you compare that to real life Tom Brady, that's about 120 touchdowns short. Yards is about 16,000 short. And, of course, as far as interceptions go, I would say, pretty much on par. But obviously, Brady played more in real life. So, Brady in this re-sim, he played well, but obviously not good enough to really dominate in the playoffs like he did in real life. and definitely nowhere near the Super Bowl successes. He didn't even get to a single one. Once again, not his fault in the slightest. He joined a Jets team that was terrible, joined a Packers team that was even worse, a Bengals team that was, kind of, probably a top 3, top 4 team comparatively in his career, and then a Falcons team that was very rough on their last legs. But that is going to be the career re-sim of Mr. Thomas Brady. If you guys enjoyed that video, maybe leave a like, subscribe if you're new, follow me on Twitter, Jeromepkr, second channel, PKR Plays, and then twitch.tv/JeromePkr. Should be a rebuild tonight around either 9 or 10 p.m. Central Standard Time. If you guys want to see this series continue, once again, let me know in the comment section below. Of course, the success of the video will also help me determine if you guys want to see these. But the main thing you can do for me, just in case we are going to do more, is let me know who you guys would like to see next. I feel like Calvin Johnson would be up there because, of course, his career was ended short. Maybe a Barry Sanders. Also, let me know how you guys want me to do it. Do you guys want me to project them around where they went in real life? Do you want me to kind of act as if we knew they would be good and we're going to build them as how they would be in their first true breakout season? Let me know in the comment section below. Regardless, there will be another video up today, a little bit later, and then probably second channel video up tomorrow. But anyways, tons of content left for you guys to see. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Hope you guys come back for next video. But until next video, see ya!